Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing The Legend of Korra. This is Book 4, Chapter 8, titled Remembrances. And it's been a little while since we saw any Korra, so it's going to be good to get back into things. I think the previously on is going to help us a little bit as well, not because we've forgotten things, it's just a lot has already happened during this book, and it's exciting stuff. Very tough subjects that we're dealing with a lot of the time, I think, at least. And just to let you guys know, like, if it looks like we're really uncomfortable or anything, it's just because it's so hot today and we're sitting inside with closed windows and lights, so it's really hot and kind of uncomfortable, as I said. So let's just get going. And you can, of course, always check out our full-length reactions where you can sync up the footage with your own copy of the episode. We also have early reactions for some of the shows that we're doing, including The Legend of Korra. It's all over on Patreon, and the link is down in the description below. And let's go.
Avatar Korra is back, and yours truly, Shiro Shinobi, couldn't be more thrilled. It's been my honor to bring you news of Korra and her friends over the years. So many heart-pounding moments. But enough about me. Sit back, relax, and take a trip down memory lane.
A trip down memory lane?
I wasn't ready! Woo down!
Oh yeah, they are at Asami's estate.
Would His Royal Highness like a cherry berry lemonade?
Look at you. You're so weak, woo down is your catchphrase.
How do I not know stuff about you?
You never asked?
Well, I'm asking now. Is there a special lady in your life?
Not since Korra and I broke up.
You dated the Avatar? Sit. You and I need to have a little gab session right
He
now.
never asked about anything.
So then you smooched her real good, huh?
Not exactly.
Kind of ran into Asami first.
Yeah.
Literally. She drove into him.
You really gotta work on your introductions.
Hey, when you got charm like mine, you don't need introductions.
What was that animation style with the faces?
Chibi?
Oh.
We need to talk.
Save your breath. You've already made it clear how you feel about me.
No.
When I said it previously on was going to be good for us, I didn't mean like a recap of the entire series so far.
Oh, and then you two lived happily ever after?
Tenzin's just trying to help you become the best avatar you can be.
You know, sometimes I wonder whose side you're on.
There aren't any sides.
How could you take his side?
What's with you and sides?
Sides.
You know, it seems like you're so afraid to disappoint anyone that you end up disappointing everyone.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Not wrong.
After harmonic convergence, the world changed. Team Avatar traveled around searching for new airbenders. At first, it was awkward being around Korra and Asami. As you were.
You were being awkward.
Yeah.
I learned that I really didn't know anything about you. Also, I realized that ladies are complicated. No offense, Grandma.
None taken.
Okay, come at me. I can take it.
Dunk.
Woo down!
I've just been thinking about something Toph said. She told me that the world doesn't need me, and it's basically pointless to try to stop Kuvira. I figured she was just being her normal, cranky self. But I'm beginning to think she had a point.
No, she doesn't.
But no matter what I do, the world seems to always be out of balance. Growing up, I couldn't wait to be the Avatar.
Is this entire episode just going to be pure recaps?
Seems like it.
Huh. This is going to be a short reaction.
Yeah.
Though. So.
But the important thing is to learn from your enemies and better yourself over time, which you have. When you first came here, you were hot-headed and a bit selfish. But you've matured into a thoughtful young woman who puts the needs of others before herself. The new Air Nation is a testament
That's
to
true,
that.
though.
You sacrificed everything to save them.
Thank you both. No matter how crazy things get, I'll always try to restore balance.
soon to become the greatest mover ever made. I present to you now Bolin as Nuktuk, hero of the South. Trademark Vera Movers International. Where can I find my teacher?
Oh, come on! If you want to tell my true story, you should start from when I met Korra. Name's Bolin, by the way.
Korra.
Boring. When does the singing start?
There wasn't any singing!
Well, it was a bit more entertaining when Varrick was telling the story.
He's joined by Vatu, the ultimate force of pure spirit evil in the universe, the biggest, meanest, scariest kite that ever flew.
Well, yeah, okay. Entertaining, but not really correct.
Did you just say meanest, scariest kite?
It does look like a big kite.
Very funny.
What the fuck?
Like I can leave this stupid tree.
Hold on. Let me conference in.
Aman!
Hey guys, I'm totally in for taking out Bolin. He's way too powerful and awesome.
After leaving the beautiful but emotionally unstable Water Tribe princess at the altar...
That's an understatement.
Opal? So smart and caring. And so probably never talk to me again because I'm so stupid!
Pull it together, you leaky lug. There's only one thing for you to do if you want to save the Avatar and defeat the fearsome foursome. I'm not really sure if I like fearsome. I mean, evil squared might be better. Whatever.
Evil Square?
Very funny. I'm still on the line. So, about that evil plan to destroy Nuktuk? Hello? Anyone there?
And she kisses Bolin, magically passing on the airbender power of flight.
Okay, that part
What?
seems a little unbelievable.
And when Juji shoots his laser eyes at the evil Unalak, the beams accidentally fly into the magic spirit doorway.
For fuck's sake. It's just taking all of the story beats, combining them with a handful of inaccuracies.
But thankfully, Bolin's spiritual mojo is so strong that he attracts the Queen of the Fairies. With her help,
Queen of the Fairies?
and that's where the stars come from. Oh yeah, he turns into a dragon, he goes into the spirit world and he saves the Avatar. The end!
Wow.
Wait! You like that?
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, kid.
Oh, okay.
That was it? What the hell? I don't even know if there's anything to talk about, really. We knew all of that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last part with Varrick, just throwing it all together and making his own little story and centered around Bolin, became Nuktuk. And yeah, it was entertaining. But besides that, it was just a lot of recaps. Did like the short moment there with Korra and Asami and Tenzin, when Tenzin came in and reassured Korra that no, you have been growing a lot as a person. That was nice to hear. But yeah, nothing new really happened.
No. Just a little recap about Korra's progression mostly.
Yeah, and then to start with Marco and his relationships with Korra and Asami, and yeah, as I said, ending with Bolin just being told by Varrick in an interesting way. I don't know why they decided to include this episode or this chapter, like why they thought we would need that.
I think just like in Atla, we had that Ember Island players, that episode just before the finale and the conclusion of the whole story. So I think this might serve kind of as the same, like it has the same purpose to kind of wrap up everything up until this point, because we're now getting to the last, like the finale.
Yeah, the end game, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's the same thing. I don't know if I particularly I'm the type of person that always skips the
recap episode. Yeah, it's in a lot of series. A lot of series do this. And you're right. Yeah.
It's such a little part of it is actually something new or something Like, it doesn't really add much to
it
the
doesn't
story.
progress the story at all, no.
And even, like, an episode like the Ember Island Players. That was a kind of funny take on it. And it was very...
Yeah. That was a unique and creative way to do that.
Very, very, very much.
So I enjoy that more than just the usual flashbacks. They still try to do something different with
like
this
Varrick.
one. With Varrick telling the story. But ultimately didn't add much to the overall experience, I believe.
No.
Sorry guys, this is gonna be a very short reaction, and I have a feeling this is probably not anyone's favorite episode of Korra.
No.
So I don't even know how many is gonna be watching this one at all, if they're just gonna skip us reacting to the recap. Either way, if you did watch this, that's great, of course, and we still enjoy watching Korra no matter what.
And we have some questions on Patreon. Actually, we had some questions for this one.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, so that's why I just started wrapping up. But no, yeah, Patreon questions. Let's do it.
Yeah, so Austin D asks, not the best episode of Korra, but it's still not terrible. Shame the budget made them do this.
Oh, that's okay. Not great, not terrible.
Oh, yeah. To stay in the theme, what is or are your favorite moments so far in the series?
Okay, yeah. We could surely get into some of that. There's a bunch of them, I think. Like, I really look back fondly on, well, if we go back to book 1, some of the twists and turns that came there with Amon and who he was related to.
His powers.
His powers as well. Us just thinking about, okay, what could it be? And then it turning out to be bloodbending. And then we getting that whole flashback episode with them living at was it the North Pole or the South Pole? I don't quite remember. But at least, learning bloodbending from their father and just how brutal that was. That's definitely memorable, I should say. And then I'm also still very fond of the Avatar 1 episodes, the 2 that we got, Beginnings, Part 1 and 2. Those are still some of my favorites, I think. And I would love to get a whole series about that guy, but we've already got most of his story in those 2 episodes, I think, just boiled down. Oh, and then book 3, there was a bunch of episodes there towards like the latter half of book 3 that was just fucking amazing. All of it. Sorry. Yeah, we just watched
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, yeah, where Cap is like, language. But everything with Sahir and the Red Lotus, the big surprise with the Earth Queen, where it was like, damn, okay, they went there. How afraid we were for Tencent at that one point when he was, up against the Red Lotus, although he was fighting Sahir at first and actually kicking Sahir's ass. But then afterwards, we were really afraid for him. And of course, everything with when stuff like when Iroh popped up, Zuko popped up. That's always nice. Seeing Toph in this book. That was really good. There are a lot of good moments, I think. What about you?
Yeah, well, kind of already pointed them out.
Yeah, sorry.
But I think some of the greatest moments of this series has been all of those moments that was centered around Korra and like Korra's experiences going through life or going through all of these traumatic events. Yeah. And the effect it had on her. For example, we already touched upon it in the first season, actually, when she had her bending taken away, or parts of it, and she was considering suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know it's like...
They didn't say it, but...
No, and it's still kind of speculated on, because it's not really... Confirmed, yeah. It's like it was a thought, maybe, and then they was not like the creators were not really sure whether or not they should include it, or if it had to be like they had to dial it down maybe and like dilute it so it's not as depressing. I don't know. But then in this last season, going through, it is a traumatic experience. The being this close to being killed by someone, and like she even got the poison in her body and everything. So she was basically on her way to being killed, and that's such a traumatic experience, like, or being murdered.
yeah.
And it's such a traumatic experience, and then of course you're gonna have some sort of it's gonna have like a recoil effect, almost like she's not recoil, but yeah, she's
their PTSD almost, or
yeah, it's like she has to deal with all of this, and the way that it's weighing down on her, and it really affects her as a person. It affects her mentally, and even it definitely changed something within her. And I think people have a tendency to mature a lot faster when they have experienced some sort of trauma in their life. True. And yeah, well, she was only between 17, 18. Okay, so still pretty young to be experiencing all of these things, and that definitely had her mature up a little bit.
And all of it inside of a year, with the first 3 books.
Exactly, and there's a lot of trauma that you're going through in a year.
Yeah.
And of course, we also know from the last Airbender, Aang went through some pretty terrible stuff too. Because he had to deal with all of his choices. Like, do I really choose to, like, or I have to choose to actually end somebody's life because...
Oh yeah, that whole dilemma there at the end.
Yeah, and that was also a very good dilemma, and I also think that helped him grow a lot as a person, because he was only, what?
He was even younger.
13 at this point in his life where he had to...
Yeah, something like 14, yeah. I don't know.
So it's just, when they deal with these thematics, it's just...
diving into mental health in general for some of these people, and for young people, and for young people watching, it's really excellent writing, and that's something we've enjoyed all the way through. So yeah, just talking about favorite moments or thematics, characters, there are a lot of it, and those were at least some of our most some of the stuff that we remember fondly.
One of the things, though, since we just talked about like our favorite things, one of the things, like main things that I don't think they have done pretty well in general, maybe they're gonna get better at it in the end, but romances because this episode was very much focused on romances, or at least for Mako, and actually also Bolin in a way. It was just reminding me just
that's maybe not their strong suit, like
writing romances, and I don't know, it didn't work for me, and like I really love these series. It's not about that, but like if I had to point out the thing I think they're lacking most, is like
good romances.
Or writing thereof. Yeah.
Something they're not lacking in this series is good villains.
Yeah.
And that has also been something that we've been enjoying all the way through. From Amon to Unalaq is probably like the most 2-dimensional out of all of them.
Still had his qualities though.
Yeah. And then jumping to Sahir and the Red Lotus, that was amazing. Now we have Kuvira, so some really good writing there with the villains at least.
Then we have Shady 07. Who are your favorite characters of this series?
Oh, that's a really good question. Like for me, I love Varrick because he's so freaking entertaining, and it's always fun when he's on screen, both when he's acting more as a villain, or if he's helping the good guys, which fortunately he is now. But if I had to pick my absolute favorite just through all of it, Tencent perhaps? Like I really like Tenzin, and I've enjoyed his development. You know, like how he has also become wiser and a wise mentor to Korra. But there's so many great characters. It's hard to choose from. What about you?
Asami.
Asami, of course. Asami is Bay, always. And I'm sure we're still rooting for her and Korra to get together, talking about romantic relationships, although I don't think they're going to go that route.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
She was blushing.
She was blushing, yes.
Korra was blushing when she got that compliment.
About her hair, yeah.
And that's also a very, very important, I think, important statement to make. Is like, there are actually woman love woman relationships in this.
Of course, yeah.
Because we haven't really seen that much. I don't think we've actually seen any non-cis het relationships.
No, we probably haven't, really.
I think it might have been heavily suggested, maybe, with some characters, I don't know. But I still think maybe... So I think that would be like the icing on the cake. That it would be like a non-cis het relationship. I think that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And would redeem some of the stuff that you said was lacking earlier, perhaps.
Yes.
Depending on how they handle it. Like, we don't know. Obviously, we haven't seen the rest yet.
But I think it would suit this universe a little bit, because they've been so good at addressing so many things for, especially that
people are different, and you should accept people like they are.
And there's so many like messages, especially for young kids or kids and youngins, that they need to hear sometimes. We need to know, like, there's all these different kinds of people, and we have to accept them all, and we have to make room for them, welcome them, accept and respect them.
True. A lot of good themes and thematics. Yeah.
So I just think that this one lacks. So that's why I'm also
rooting for it.
Rooting is an understatement.
Fair enough.
Well, fairy characters. Pabu? Naga?
Yeah. That's something that's been good at, like, both in The Legend of Korra and Atla, the animal sidekicks. Spot on.
Old tough.
True that.
Well.
And sorry, talking about the animal sidekicks, I believe all of them are voiced by D. Bradley Baker.
Oh, okay.
Who's just so good at voice acting in general. And of course, he's voicing all of the clones in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And very talented guy. But I think that's going to do it then. Yeah, a little longer discussion than I thought it was going to be, but that was because we had some questions there, some good questions from our patrons. So thank you guys very, very much for that. And yeah, as I said, that's going to do it for this reaction and review of The Legend of Korra, Book 4, Chapter 8, Remembrances. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.